Okay, so who else puts important stuff in the exact same place as totally irrelevant junk? Like, my birth certificate is currently living next to a broken pen, a screw from I don't know where, and chapstick. If that's you, welcome to my channel. You are my people. One thing I've learned is that when your body is hurting or you're limited, your brain automatically prioritizes survival tasks, not organization tasks. I recently went through 3 major surgeries in 6 months, and I'm learning things about myself that I never noticed before. Putting something away suddenly becomes very painful and slow and inconvenient, sometimes physically impossible. So my brain did the next best thing. I'll just put it here for now. And for now becomes until I'm better. Your brain switches to place it somewhere reachable. I'll deal with it later. It's totally normal. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling everything off the shelves and actually putting it on a landing space, which is my desk. So I'll clean off my desk, and that way I have it so that I can place items on there and organize, regroup so that I know, I kind of get a visual of what it looks like empty and where I can put things. I went through this because of pain, exhaustion, limitation, practicality, went into survival mode, and my environment went into accommodation mode. My home shifted. It went into accessibility mode. I moved things closer. I needed things visible. I needed things within reach. And I needed things to be more convenient. I was doing the best I could, exactly what my body needed at the time. This type of behavior is very common in people who are neurodivergent, ADHD, injury recovery, chronic pain, anyone living through a low energy season of their life. And it doesn't say anything negative about you. It reveals you were doing your best with what you had during a phase where you were literally physically limited. So now I'm playing catch up. I am having to go through and doing the storage shuffle. Extremely important things ended up right next to random charger from 2014, a sock, a mystery screw that felt emotionally significant for no reason. I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was a predictable pattern with very solvable roots. I am actually very fortunate that I am able to have this treated and have the surgeries. So here's some behind the scenes logic of why your brain may be working that way. Out of sight is out of mind. If you put something away properly, you forget it exists. So you keep important things near everyday clutter because at least you'll see it. Temporary parking lots for things become permanent. You set something down just for now, and 6 months later, I found my passport snuggled next to some expired coupons. Paralysis and overwhelm the struggle is real. You know that important thing that needs a special home, but picking a spot feels like a commitment ceremony, so it gets tucked in with whatever pile was closest. I started to base my priorities on urgency, not importance. So the important item doesn't get a safe spot until it becomes urgent, which is usually the worst possible moment. So I'm very fortunate, like I said, that I am in recovery mode. So now I'm rebuilding, and I'm rebuilding the whole flow so I can find and stop losing crucial things and not burying them with random chaos gremlins. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and organizing. I'm doing just one little section at a time, one bookshelf at a time. I'm making a bigger mess than I started with, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. My first step is to create a literal VIP zone. So I have a little plastic container that's clear, that's see-through, and this is everything that is important. Think like if it went missing, you would panic. This is important. This VIP zone is only for important things. It can be anything. It can be a specific drawer. It can be a portable like caddy. You could do a top shelf in a cabinet or even a pretty box. Number one, VIP zone. And you'll see it. You might be able to see it if I pan over onto my desk, but it is on my desk. This is for anything that I come across that I put somewhere because I was hurting and couldn't put it away. That is VIP, extremely important. If I lost it, it would create a crisis. Maybe not right now, but in the future. So everything else gets a low stakes home. So this is where the unimportant little gremlin items coexist safely away from like my crucial items that I need, like paperwork, meds. And this can be like pet things, just random things. I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to throw it away yet. No judgment, just a low stakes home. So when you're going through and deciding what to do with this, use a 3-second sorting roll. Does this belong in the VIP zone? If yes, stop everything and walk there immediately. Is this item trash? If it's yes, then toss it right there. Does it need a low stakes home? Like it doesn't really have a home now, but it's important enough for me to put it somewhere to categorize it, to find it a home. Then it goes in the low stakes home. No deep thinking, no later, no 45-minute spiral. Okay, so we tend to trust what we can see. So if your VIP items are visible in like a clear container, a transparent poly envelope, I use those a lot. Make sure that they have a label on them. They're bright colors. It's not messy. It's just a visual thing. Honor that. Do tiny little micro resets, not big cleanups. Once a day or once every few days, return the VIP things to the VIP zone. Toss obvious trash. Drop other items into containers. Don't go into a deep sorting. Avoid the marathon sessions. They will burn me out as I'm recovering and backfire. I'm in a different season of life than I was 6 months ago. I like to think that I'm going back to my old self where everything has a place and everything is organized. This has been quite the lesson for me to learn, and I definitely am humbled, and I have even more empathy for people that are living with chronic pain and debilitating illnesses. I asked God for humbling. I asked the universe, God, for humbling, and I sure did get it. And the lesson that I'm going to make myself learn from this is to be more empathetic towards other people who live with chronic illness and chronic pain and debilitating diseases. As a nurse, sometimes you get a little distant from the illnesses. You compartmentalize, this person has ADHD and that's why they lost the script for their Doppler to get their leg tested to see if they have a DVT. And next thing you know, they're in the ER because they have this random pain in their leg and they lost the prescription to get the Doppler done. It's very easy to feel frustration that this person, would actually be irresponsible and lose a prescription. But at the same time, now I kind of understand it really wasn't them, that it really was through no fault of their own. Now I have a little better understanding that there are different circumstances where people are not functioning at 100%. As a nurse, I know the way the brain works and why, but to get a firsthand experience of it and to go through it myself really opened my eyes to just how debilitating it turns someone who is extremely functional, extremely high functioning, to someone who can't remember where I put my car keys. So remember, the problem isn't you. It's you're forcing your brain to use a system that wasn't made with your brain in mind at the time. We go through different seasons in our life. As I come back into my reality, as I'm healing, I have no pain right now. And as I start to regroup and gather my life back together again, I'm noticing things that I did that I would have normally never done. And not only that, I would have been frustrated at other people for doing them too. So I'm learning. This has been quite the learning experience. So when someone like me goes through a season of life where it literally just brings them to your knees, it brought me to my knees. It made me realize that some of my systems were not set up for different seasons of my life, just for me performing at 100%. I know not everyone likes the 27-step filing systems and the color-coded categories. I do, but it made me realize that these systems are not going to work in an event where I'm tired, overwhelmed, or in pain. And let's be honest, right now, those days were much more common. So here's the biggest game changer that I found as I'm rebuilding and putting my life back together. I'm finding the weirdest stuff in the weirdest places. And I know I'm trying to give myself grace because I know why I did it and why it's there. I still am very frustrated with myself when I find something extremely important next to something irrelevant. as I'm sorting through stuff and putting stuff together, right now I'm just I'm not cleaning, I'm not organizing, I am investigating. I want to know where I put everything and make sure that it goes back into its home or make it a home. Everything needs a place. And as I'm doing this, I realized something that was a huge game changer for me, and I thought I would share it and see if it helps someone else. I created a VIP zone. I cleaned out a little plastic container. It's clear. And this is where, as I'm going through stuff, I am using this as a VIP zone. Anything, passport, medicines, medical papers, keys, important keys, wallet, anything that would create instant panic if it vanished. It's small, it's simple, and it's somewhere where my brain can't ignore. It's right on my desk. It's literally a box, a small box with a lid that snaps shut. That's it. It's not Pinterest worthy. It's not perfection. It's just functional. Functional is exactly what I need right now. And then there's the everything else homes. Everything else just goes into bins, not detailed categories, just vibes. A random bin of electronics, I have that. A bin for papers that I'm not ready to throw away yet, I have that. Cords and chargers, yep, I got a drawer for that. I don't know what this is, but I'll need it one day after I throw it out. I currently have a drawer for that. I'm not being fancy, I'm not labeling them. I just know in my mind that that's where this goes. Now looking back, the physical pain was so intense. I don't ever want to experience anything like that ever again. And so I am fearful of going through that again. So I catching myself to bend over to pick up a piece of paper. In my mind, I'm thinking, is this going to hurt me more than it helps me? And so I'm processing through that currently at the moment. But it's not enough of an excuse, that fear, to not do anything. So I'm going slow and deliberate, but I'm still moving, even fearful that I could bend a certain way and boom, the injury is right back there. I'm a nurse. I don't fear death. I don't fear much, actually. But now, after this experience, I fear suffering because I've never suffered like I have in the last couple years. And it is truly terrifying. Okay, so let's do the 3-second rule. I'm actually going to make stickers for you guys, I think. The 3-second rule. Number 1, pick something up, okay? Is it VIP? Is it a birth certificate? Then it goes into the VIP zone immediately. Don't think about it. Just take it. If it's trash, toss it. If it's neither, drop it into another low stakes bin. If you're feeling ambitious, put it away. If it doesn't have a home yet, it goes in the rehome bin. Boom, done. Don't think, no thinking, no perfection. You don't need a 3-hour cleaning marathon. You just need 2 to 5 minute micro little resets. Put the VIP things back, toss obvious trash. I have a new retainer, so I have a little bit of a lisp. Toss any obvious trash and drop things into bins. That's enough to keep your space from turning into a treasure hunt. So if you're someone who keeps your passports next to a pack of gum from 2019, you're not failing. Your brain just maybe needs a different system for this season of your life. And it could be such as myself, because it was just a different season. I was going through a season of healing and hurt. And now I'm going through another season of recovery and rejuvenation. You know what I mean? I need a system that I'm building that's built for clarity, visibility, and survival, not aesthetics. Functional first. Giving myself grace, I'm giving myself structure, and I need to give my belongings, a home. If I don't control my belongings, they will control me. When I go to look for my passport, you better believe it's going to betray me and be in the worst possible place it could possibly be in. Who loses crucial items because they're buried next to random chaos? A lot of people, actually. People that are in chronic pain, recovering from injuries like myself, fatigue, people that experience severe fatigue, depression, overwhelm, ADHD, people who are usually tidy, but they're just maxed out. And honestly, any human who hits a period where their physical or mental bandwidth is low. Let's stop pretending that this is not common, because it can be. This is a box of blanks of extras. There's mouse pads and coasters and even earrings, all kinds of stuff. It's just kind of like a sample. Those are actually something that I have orders for that I set aside. Those are those acrylic Christmas ornaments. But the rest of it is just kind of samples just to play with that I received. So I'm super excited to make mouse pads. Now, my circumstances are a little bit different because we are in this house with the intent of renovating it. It is much smaller than our home in Colorado. And so we went from big house with 3 stories and 5 bedrooms, and now we're in a tiny little house. I love this house. However, it is taking some getting used to. There is no big wall to decorate, and there is no big open space to decorate and turn it into a coffee bar. And that's okay. It's just kind of making me reevaluate things a little bit. Also, I wanted to point out too, when I go back to edit this video, I'm going to have a heck of a time organizing my thoughts here. I hope you can follow along. When I go into my office and I'm looking at, I'm one of those people that when I organize, I go left to right, top to bottom. So that way there's no question of what gets done first. It's this shelf. When you first walk through the door, it's the shelf on the left, the top shelf. That's the first one. There's no question. Okay, when that one's done, it's the next one. Left to right, top to bottom. That way there's no thinking involved. I know exactly what I'm doing when I walk into the room. I have a lot of responsibilities. I handle a lot of things. I juggle a lot, more than what most people could ever even imagine. And I think that the reason why is because I'm just really good at it. I solve problems. I like puzzles. I solve problems. That's what I do. And that's what I enjoy. But when I go into my office and I'm like, okay, I'm going to organize this space, I am not I need to clean. That office, I can't find anything. I need to put everything in its place, and this is just a mess. There's nail polish next to, something significant. Like it's bad. I think that the trick is, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the reason why I like to clean and organize is the way that I frame it in my mind. It is not me going through this box to see if there's junk in there and figure out where, homes for everything. To me, it's a treasure hunt. It's fun. Like, when my mental and physical capacity was at an all-time low and I could not function, things got put where they weren't supposed to go. And now, going through and organizing, I'm like, it's really interesting to think, what's in that box? What could I have possibly put in this box? And no judgment. I'll go through it and I'm like, oh, okay, well, a rubber duck and cat brush and the strangest things. Actually, I could probably do a video of weird shit I find in the weirdest places because it's astonishing to me. And again, no judgment. It is what it is. I went through a really rough season of my life. I survived it, and I'm proud of myself for that. And now I'm rebuilding. And I find it interesting of where things were put and how and why. And so when I'm going through and I'm cleaning, it's like a game to me. It's like a treasure hunt. What will I find in the store when I open it? I'm going to take everything out of it, categorize it. What could possibly be in here? And it is some of the weirdest stuff. I find it interesting. I reframe it as in what in the world will I find today? And I will set my timer for 10 minutes and I'll walk in my office and I'll start at the top shelf. And does it look any different when I'm done than before I started? Probably not. But I know where everything is on that shelf. And when I need it, I'll know where it is. So then I can once I do this, I can start to formulate like a plan of what would make my life easier. What do I need this space to reflect to make my life easier from here going forward in this season of my life? I'm also making room because the season is coming, the holiday season's coming, and I do a lot of custom orders for people. And so I need the space. I need everything to be in its place because I have, I'm going to need card tables set up with machines and things that I really don't want in my office. The struggle has been hard lately. I'm fiercely independent and almost to a fault, most of the time to a fault. I feel best when I'm taking care of someone. And I can't do that if I'm not taking care of myself. And knowing where things are and being able to walk in and grab something when I need it, when it's urgent, is part of self-care for me. If my daughter comes to me and says, I need my birth certificate for school, I need to know exactly where to go in and grab it and hand it to her. And I will make a note to myself that she has her own birth certificate. So every time I see her, I can remind her, give me your birth certificate so I can file it away. Give me your birth certificate so I can file it away. My youngest child is 19, so we're not talking, that I'm making her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, we're not talking activities of daily life she handles on her own, but I'm still the CEO of my family, and I still need to make sure that everything's taken care of and everything is done and everything is organized in such a way. I like to be proactive. I want my house in proactive mode to where I walk around my house and think, okay, what can I do today? What's one thing that I can do today that would make my life easier? And sometimes it's meal prep. Sometimes it's sit down, put your headphones on, and pretend like you can't hear anybody so you can finish reading the rest of this chapter. Sometimes it is making sure that they have, things for their lunch. I'm trying to be better about that because lately I've learned that when you are fiercely independent, it's a good quality to have, I think. I like that about me. But when I got to the point where I could not function on my own, I could not shower alone, I could not lift my leg up to get into the shower, and I needed help, like to live, I didn't know how to ask for it, and I didn't know how to accept it. And this has taught me that even though I am proud to be fiercely independent, there may come a time where I do need people, and I am going to have to ask for help, not hire help, not, business deal, but real, true friendship help. This has been humbling. I'm very fortunate that I've built this incredible life that I love, and I have the most amazing support systems. And I realize that not everybody's that fortunate. But this lesson, what I've been through lately has definitely taught me to utilize them more. And we often forget that when you ask someone for help, it's not always a burden. Sometimes, people want to feel like they've helped. People want to help. They sometimes just don't know how. Can I just celebrate here for a second? Look at me sitting on the floor organizing without even giving it a second thought. 6 months ago, 2 years ago, I would have not been able to do this. I would have not been able to get on the floor and get back up. And I am so freaking proud. I'm so excited. I have tears in my eyes going back and watching this video. So this bookshelf is both functional and for decoration. That's really hard to do sometimes. I do have some tumblers there that I need for custom orders and some gifts for Christmas. Hi, Oreo. But basically what I'm doing now is just kind of taking inventory. I am curious and excited where everything is and what it's doing there. And I'm putting everything away. But right now I walk into my office and I'm not cleaning, or my whole house for that matter at this point. I'm not cleaning, I'm not organizing, I'm not setting up systems. I'm viewing it from the mentality of curiosity. What is in this drawer and why? What is in this box and why? This doesn't belong here. It goes in the trash. This is really important. It goes in my VIP. This, I don't really need right now, but it doesn't have a home yet. So it's going to go in this box. And I will just go through my office from top to bottom, drawer by drawer, and take inventory of what I have. And that way I kind of know what I need too. And I'll do this several times. I actually do this once a month. I will go through and organize everything. The itch to switch is what I like to call it. It's not that there's anything wrong sometimes. It's not that something's not working. It's just, there's nothing wrong with looking at something and saying, how can I make this better? How can this make my life easier? I'll post the link down below for a printable for this if you want to try it, this style of cleaning, and some tips and tricks. And I will post it below. It's on my website. If you're one of my coaching clients, you already have access to this. If you don't, I will have it linked below as well.